The what's her name? Raygun. That Raygun thing was a really unfortunate situation, but the way that people went ham on her was unnecessary. Like, she was breaking. She was just had a very awkward, like, unorthodox style. But the way people came out, like, oh, she's trying to offend the Olympics, she's offending black culture, how does she get through in the first place? People went way too savage on her. People were like, oh, her husband got her through, her husband works for the Olympic division, all of which was turned out to be false. Like, that Raygun situation blackpilled me on, I was already getting blackpilled on the average person's intelligence in terms of, like, doing research and finding out the real narrative behind the situation. But when the Raygun thing happened and I saw all of the accusations about how she got through and who she's affiliated with, that was actually quite scary. That super blackpilled me. I was like, you know what? I don't have any faith in humanity to just take it upon themselves to just be fair and give grace and actually find out the correct information before typing the most, like, slanderous, horrendous stuff about this person. And it was quite horrible, I think. It was trash. I don't know how she got through. Yeah, everyone knows that it wasn't good. That's why she didn't win. I agree. All those non-dancers had, yeah, it was crazy. Like, all it took, right, was just. But the thing is about the Olympics is that the whole process was available for everybody to see. Even now that the event is over, anybody can go up, they can look at all the qualifiers, they can actually watch footage of the battles where Raygun competed and she beat multiple people. She actually battled multiple girls and won the Australia qualifier. You can even see the judges. You can see all the judges, you can see where they're from, you can see their backgrounds, and you can see that Raygun's husband was not a judge. You know what I mean? There's so many ways to, like, show that all of this narrative is false, but because it sounds good, like, sometimes the lie is more entertaining than the truth, right? Or just a narrative of, oh, horrible white woman breakdancer tricks her way into the Olympics. That's a more popcorn crunching, like, narrative that people want to get. It's gonna make people want to get behind and champion because it just sounds. It's a conspiracy that people want to expose because it's fun to expose it and fun to fight against people that are cheaters or whatever. I question how they got there. People don't think that level of breakings is just not that. Yeah, exactly. People don't know that either, you know. Like, even a lot of Australian breakdancers will acknowledge that when it comes to around the world, Australia is not the best, or not up there when it comes to, like, strong breakdancing regions. But Josh, the problem was that, like, the thing is, there's multiple issues that happen with the event as well, which is, and the thing is, the thing that's funny is that there are things to critique about Australia's qualifier, right? And there are things to critique about how is it possible that Raygun got through. There actually is a conversation, but the issue is that the conversation that's being had is attacking her skill, but not attacking the thing that should be critiqued, which was the event organization. Because apparently the qualifier took place around the same time as another popular or big Australian b-boy event, right? So there was like a clash. On top of that, apparently the between the event being announced and the event taking place, there wasn't that much time. So there wasn't enough opportunity for more people to prepare for it and sign up for it. And thirdly, and this is not to do with the event, this is to do with the sentiment about breakdancing being at the Olympics. Because what you might not know is that the build up to the Olympics, there were a lot of b-boys, but a lot of dancers, both b-boys and non-b-boys, that were skeptical about the premise of Olympics, of b-boying even being at the Olympics, right? So in Australia, when the qualifier happened, there were a lot of people that didn't participate because they don't believe in breaking being at the Olympics. They don't think it's a good thing, so they don't want to support it. So that's another reason why a lot of people didn't even show up for the qualifier. So again, those are 3 reasons why the qualifier created a result where the best of the best that Australia has to offer didn't show up, right? And so because the best of the best that or at least when it comes to the female B-girls, or I guess I can just say B-girls instead of female B-girls, part of the reason why perhaps not a lot of them showed up is because some of them, again, may not have believed in the Olympics, believed in b-boying being at the Olympics, or maybe they went to the other event, or they just didn't have enough time to prepare, or they just, because of the time scale between the announcement of the event and the actual implementation of the event. Here, double the girl, double the B, double the girl. When you see people from Korea, like, you'll understand the level in most, yeah. It's like going to India for your Olympic swimmer. Dance to express, not impress. That was my B-boy motto. Yeah, the level is just not that high. Like, we all know that there are definitely B girls that are more stronger, or that are stronger than Raygun. Like, everybody knows that. But the issue is that there were too many other moving parts surrounding the event that made it so those girls who could have beaten Raygun and took her place didn't show up. You know? Yeah, not when it's ranked. She ain't making it out of the lobby with them ones. Yeah, if the biggest talent around the nation actually showed up, then it would have been an entirely different story, most likely. But yeah, that whole thing, that really honestly kind of made me sick, the way that, you know, she was just getting dragged. And I remember on my Instagram I said, like, at one point it got to a point where I made a story where I said, if tomorrow, if Raygun was to, like, take her own life tomorrow, right, I want to see what everybody would say, because you know for a fact that the amount of slander she was getting, like, I remember saying, I hope she is the kind of person who is super resilient to, like, internet harassment and comments and stuff like that. You know how some people are just, they got a natural thick skin and they can deal with that, but then a lot of people, they can't deal with that. And I was just hoping, I hope to God that she is the resilient one, because if she was to take her own life out of nowhere, like the next day, it wouldn't surprise me because of the level of slander she was getting. It was ridiculous. Like, not even just the words, but the way her videos were getting reposted, putting her videos of her looking like a kangaroo with in the zoo, you know what I mean? Like, the way they would take the image of her and put her in places and just make memes out of it. It was way too far, you know? Way too far. And again, like, if it was a thing where, if it was proven that the things that she was being accused of did happen, like, if it was the case that her husband worked for the industry and got her in, or there was some crazy thing going on in the sidelines, and if there was some, you know, sneaky slanderous stuff going on, then of course, right, then it's definitely deserved. But for that level of critique and slander to happen, and it wasn't deserved, and it wasn't the conspiracy that everyone thought it was, that was crazy. It was way too much. Yeah, it was pretty high slander. I was complicit, you know what I mean? But I bought into the conspiracy, to be honest. Yeah, like, and at least, like, you're noble enough to admit that, you know, you're complicit and stuff. Like, most people in this world, I remember having an argument with somebody on Instagram DM. I think they unfollowed me after the discussion as well, because she was like, oh, I used to live in Australia, and I've heard from personal people in Australia that know that she cheated her way in. And I'm like, listen, I don't care who you know. We both know dancers. We're both dancers. Like, the same argument you're giving me by saying, but I know people in Australia, I can just say the same thing, but I know people in Australia that disagree with you. So where do we go from here? Like, don't be trying to appeal to numbers or appeal to authority when I can use the same numbers and authority to battle you. So clearly there needs to be a way that we can actually find a reality that doesn't rely on numbers or knowing people from Australia. You know, it's just actual garbage arguments. Just thinking of the premise is making me mad right now. You qualify for a sport that most people couldn't pretend to be good at. You're living your best life and representing your country for everyone to throw you into the abyss. The actual abyss. If you're gonna go hard like that, do it to someone who did something bad. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that. If I make a video out of this, I'm gonna screenshot that comment, and I'm gonna probably put it in the thumbnail, because I think that is like a perfectly put way to, like, describe how destructive that was and how unfair and unjustified it was. It didn't seem like an unreasonable thing to happen. Out of the top 10 bad argument, court to authority has to be the top 5. Yeah. Especially when it's just misused, right? Because a court to authority isn't inherently always fallacious, but when it's used in a fallacious way, and especially when the person doesn't know that they're using it in a fallacious way,